to double check if we are live. In theory, we are. All right, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Beautiful souls, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another powerful episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show. I'm Krisztina, and today's conversation is really, truly special because today we are celebrating a movement. We have a powerful message to share and a book that carries so many stories of courage and truth. And we're going to talk about the Unleash the Power of Your Voice. And I'm really, truly honored to be joined by some wonderful, extraordinary women today, each of them a contributing author to this wonderful anthology. The women joining me today are leaders, teachers, visionaries, and soul-driven who have dared to speak their truths in the book and otherwise, and now they also create space, right, for others to rise as well. So if you are new to my show, and they are new to my show actually because they've never been in the Truth Runners Talk Show, I would love to introduce them before we dive deep in the conversation. And before I'm doing that, I would love to ask you guys, if you are joining this live, then just put in the comment from where are you joining from. If you are watching the replay also, that would be amazing so we can acknowledge you. Also, if you like the conversation, then just send us some hearts. We love that because we are awesome and amazing, and you guys are awesome and amazing, and we always welcome loves and lights, right? So let me introduce you our beautiful ladies for today. I would love to start with Miss Shirley Murphy because she is the visionary leader behind the book. She's a publisher and a global humanitarian. As the founder of the She Rise Academy and publisher of GLEBM magazine, she amplifies women's voices worldwide and leads powerful initiatives for leadership, empowerment, and international impact. Welcome, Miss Shirley, to the show.
Thank you. It's always awesome to be here. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Then I would love to introduce Dr. Betsy Evans Bennett. She is new to the Truth Runners show, and she's an award-winning international keynote speaker, best-selling author, mentor, and Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Known as a true informational powerhouse or transformational powerhouse, she shares her journey from praying to triumph to empower women to break free from limitations and embrace their I can. Welcome, Dr. Betsy, to the show.
Thank you. Nice being here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And as we are moving forward, I would love to introduce the amazing Dr. Stephanie Green. She's a prophetic strategist and founder of Power Wealth Profits. She teaches leaders to unlock the spiritual power of their voice, combining divine insight with practical leadership tools to help them speak with authority, integrity, to ignite hope and release transformational impact. Welcome, Dr. Stephanie.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you. And also I would love to introduce Dr. Lisa Yvette Jones. She is the Chief Caring Officer of iCare, Leadership and a Christian Transformational Strategist, with over 30 years of federal leadership experience. She equips women leaders to maximize influence, to cultivate authentic relationships, to reclaim peace, and lead with heart, balance, and purpose. So ladies, welcome. Welcome, Dr. Lisa. Welcome again, all of you, to the Truth Runners Talk Show. It's really an honor for me to have you here today, and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know that today we are not just sharing stories, okay? So what we are going to do, all of us here, we're going to amplify voices, okay? Because we're going to show the world what happens when beautiful, strong women choose truth over silence. And they choose courage over fear, okay? And to begin with, I would love to ask a question. And I would love to invite each one of you to sit with it for a moment and as you answer, right? So I would love to ask you ladies, what was the moment when you realized that your voice mattered? Because the book is Unleash the Power of Your Voice, but when you realize that your voice really matters? Miss Shirley, or whoever would love to go first.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I want to go first. Thank you very much, Koya, for having us on your platform again. Yes, Unleash the Power of Your Voice is a powerful piece that is going to come out again this month of January. And as the name goes, unleashing the power of your voice, releasing, it's about breakthrough, coming out, being free from whatever that has, held you bound, that has stopped you, that has limited you, from becoming who God has created you to be. So personally for me, at a point in time, I had struggled, like before I got to where I am, I had struggled with, lack of confidence in myself based on the fact that growing up was like, and I'm the first child, the first daughter as well, my family. So growing up for me was, as a girl child, you were supposed to be here, sit here, don't say anything until you're asked. And of course, even when you're asked, you're only to say only what you're asked to say. Don't say more than that, especially when you have visitors, in the family. So, and if you talk too much, if you say more than what you're asked to say, you begin to be tapped like, or labeled like, you talk too much. And that's not good for a girl child. You're not supposed to be, be found talking. And God so have it that he had deposited what he has deposited in my life before I was born. And I knew from back then that I was this talkative, like I talk all the time. And I realized over time, as I grew older, I realized that I can sit down, and my talk wasn't just about just talking. It was about find myself always mentoring, always advising on, and my younger ones would, look back and tell anybody that cares to listen that if you're ready to sit down and receive talk, like that's the way they'll put it, advice, and you will not be tired, or you get tired, just go and meet Shirley. And because when once you find me in that space, I will not be tired of always advising you, telling you something that you need to do differently for your life. As at that time, I wasn't having any title to anything. I was just me. So I realized as at that time that this I put it that time, this my talking all the time can be transformed into something bigger and better, for my life and for my journey as well. And of course, as I journeyed later on, into school and others, I decided to rebrand or refashioned my talking into something more different. And of course, based on revelations that God had revealed to me about, what I carry about women, most especially because that's my ministry, I discovered that. So that talking wasn't just about talking. It was it was a pointer, a direction that Shirley, this is where you need to, fashion that talk, that message that is always coming, telling people what they need to do differently and how they should go about with their life. And of course, from that moment on, I would say I've never kept quiet, because you will always find me, you will always see me on tables where you have to, or I have to, always advise, mentor, lead, come out and begin to say something that others are quiet about. And that is about, helping women discover their purpose, helping them discover that which God has deposited inside of them. God made me to understand that every one of us as women, we have greatness inside of us. So what's stopping us? The family system, the society, because you're a woman, there's a different way they see you. You're not supposed to be seen this way. You're supposed to be seen that way. You're not supposed to even step forward and lead, differently. I remember back then, as we were growing up, we only used to, when we have, elderly women in the community, They are only called upon when there's time to share food. Yeah, as a woman, yes, that's your work. Just come and share food to all the men that were maybe having meetings, and that's all. Nothing else. They will not be asked, to share, maybe make their contributions on anything. That's not your place. Your place is to be in the kitchen, cook for us, and let us eat. No, but that narrative had to change. Somebody had to step forward to begin to say, we cannot continue that way. God has given us something that our generation is looking for. We are voices. The voice that we carry is not just about voice of just making noise or just saying something. We have an assignment that God has given us, and that assignment is tied to our mouth. You need to open your mouth to say it. You cannot have an assignment that has to do with people's life without speaking into their lives, without pouring out what God has deposited from inside of you to help them, get them realigned into God's given purpose for their life. So, of course, for me, that was a turning point. Like I used to say, I'm just a product of grace, because I look back and I discover that God had helped me early enough in time in life to discover what He had given me to do, and I've been running with it without looking back.
Thank you, Miss Shirley. I love that. And I have to say, I know Miss Shirley for quite a few years now. And when she talks, her voice is powerful and is impactful. And I absolutely love that about her. And the way how you put it, and it's such inspirational. I really appreciate you. So, Dr. Stephanie, then. Okay, I'm just gonna go how you laid it out on my screen. Okay. When did you realize that your voice matters really? Because as Shirley said, I mean, as girls, we've been always silenced. Shush.
Absolutely. Well, as someone who has been a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, as well as being an award-winning government contractor, I've been able to help many individuals, entrepreneurs, corporations, um, women empower. And recently, how many of you remember when the government shut down, maybe in fourth quarter of 2025? And then how many of you remember how it could affect you or someone that you know, right? So I know several people that when the government shut down, they stopped getting paid. If they were government employees, they weren't getting paid during a particular time period, right? And so the power of my voice that I realized is before that even happened, I let people know that there was a way to make money where you will get paid month after month, regardless of what happens in society. And so, by me speaking up, I was able to help several family members continue to get paid because they had contracts with the government that I taught them about, and that they could take care of their families like they were supposed to without stressing out. And so God showed me the power of my voice at that time, but it wasn't always that way. I remember a couple years ago where I was impacted by an automobile accident where I ended up in the hospital. So, when you're in hospital, you're limited to what you can do, right? And so, by being in the hospital, I was actually paralyzed on one side of my body. I had to learn how to walk all over again. I had to learn how to talk all over again. However, when I was in the hospital, they were saying, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. But I had a daily prayer every day. So one thing that kept me going was my daily prayer because I can activate my voice. So they couldn't figure out how I was able to get my phone, dial into my prayer call, and be able to speak. They couldn't hardly understand what I was saying, but my voice was still being activated, glorifying God. And so the doctors were telling me, Miss Green, you have high blood pressure. And I've always been healthy all my life, right? So when you're in pain, your blood pressure just naturally goes up. So I wasn't accepting that I had high blood pressure. So out of my mouth, I told the doctor, I do not have high blood pressure. And you can see on the monitor where it was high, right? And soon as I declare I do not have high blood pressure, you can see that monitor drop down to the normal level that it's supposed to be. So when you activate your voice, there is so much power in what you believe and what you declare. According to Psalms 49:3, my mouth shall speak wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall give understanding. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green, for sharing that. I appreciate it. And you do have a powerful voice. Really, I'm glad and grateful. And I think many women are grateful that you found it and you share it with others as well. Dr. Lisa, would you love to share how did you find that your voice is powerful? And yeah, I can share it. Let's share it.
Well, you know what? There's a thank you again. Thank you so much for having us. And I think about a story that my mother has told me since I was a little girl. She said that when I came out of the womb, I turned around to the doctor and told him, "Do not smack my bottom again." She said, because I never recall you ever Google and Gaga and baby talk. She said, you came from the womb talking. And so whenever she would try to find me, that was back in the day when you can go from neighbor to neighbor and talk. She would just stand there and ask one neighbor, have you seen Lisa? They said, yes, she just left here talking my ears off. She's over there at Miss Lane's house. Call her. So I knew then. So one of my NAACP, the National Association for Colored People, Association for Colored People, he said, you know what? That girl has a voice on her. That girl talks a lot. He said, so why don't we do this? Let my wife and I take her and your other two children. At that time, my mother had two of 7. And he said, I am going to have her join the youth chapter of the NAACP. Now, I was 8 years old at that time. I was 8 years old, and he said, I'm going to make special provision. He was the president of the local chapter, of the adult chapter. Well, by the time I was 9 years old, he threw me the book. He said, The Robert's Rules to Parliamentary Procedures. He said, you're a smart girl, read that book. He had me read that book. He then tested me on some of the rules of being at the table, power at the table. And so he took me to a city council meeting. But before we went to that city council meeting, he said, I need you to look around this neighborhood. And he said, and I need you to have an ask. This is a grown man talking to a 9-year-old. I said, I do not like the way the merry-go-rounds are. The merry-go-rounds are dirty. And the grass around them, there's no more sand. The swings, we can't swing. I said, then the slide is yucky and it needs to be painted. I didn't have the words for it, but I knew that I wanted our park to be refreshed. He helped me to get those words. I was invited to that city council meeting. I sat at the table. The president of the city council meeting thought it was so cute. So he let me sit at the head of the table. I sat at that table and I articulated exactly what we wanted. And the following year, that park was refurbished. So when I realized that the power of my voice gets results, I then said, I belong here. I belong at the seat of the table. So I needed a seat at the table to give others their voice too, because none of the other children in the neighborhood spoke up. None of the other children would speak up. I was also an advocate for my siblings. I knew how to talk to my mother in a way where she wouldn't get upset. Let me do it, okay? My mother would also give me this talk when her friends would come over. She was like, listen, I am getting ready to have some friends over, and you will not talk their ears off. I want you to say hello and then go in your room. I would always find my way back into the space and graciously ask a few questions here and there. But it just helped me to see that I knew that whatever God was going to do in my life, whatever people started talking about purpose, I said, Lord, whatever it is, I know you're going to help. It's going to be me using my mouth. So all these years later, and being diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer and having no symptoms, one of the first things I said was, well, what do you minister to other people? Because he's also called me into the ministry. What do you minister to other people who is going through this? Now minister to yourself. And let me tell you, when those doctors gave that diagnosis and told me that I had 7 days before I needed that surgery, I told him, I said, I need to consult someone else. He said, you don't have time. I'm going to take that time. I took that time and I went before the Lord. And on the 3rd day, he said, you shall live and not die. And this will never return again. And I called you into the ministry. I said, oh, that's what the enemy was after. I said, okay, Lord, I got you. I'm in partnership with you on this. We're going to take him down because he's already defeated. I then told the doctor, I will not have that surgery in 7 days because I shall live and not die. He said, Miss Jones, then we won't even open you up. That cancer is spreading so fast. And then I said, it's no longer spread. I had that surgery a month and a half later. He said, how did you know? I said, I went to the chief physician. He said, you went over my head? I said, I went over all of our heads. And I said, and that's how I knew that I was going to be here. So listen, my voice is meant to help liberate others, to give people a voice when they don't have it. But not only do I go to the table for them, I then teach them how to get to the table so they can do the same thing that I'm doing. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. You keep going, keep sharing that voice of yours. It's just amazing and powerful and impactful. So never, ever give up, okay? Never, ever. Don't you dare. Wonderful. Dr. Bennett, and I would love to ask you as well, where was the moment when you find, oh my God, I have a voice and it's powerful?
Good morning again. Thanks for having me on that platform. I share good morning, all you nice ladies. Hi, Dr. Lisa. Share Dr. Lisa's sentiment. I was never unbridled. I came out of the womb kicking and screaming, honestly. I'm also a Scorpion child, and my month does not tolerate silence. So I knew then, since a little girl, I grew up in the beautiful island of Jamaica. I'm from the Caribbean. So growing up in the countryside, I'm the middle child for my mom. Growing up in the countryside, it was just us and our siblings, and we would have neighbors here and there. And so most times I liked to be by myself because that's when the authoritative person, side of me comes out. And I would go and sit in the lush green savanna. Um, we had tall blades of grass. And my mom did not believe in giving us dolls when we were younger because she said she was never going to be a young grandma. So my doll at that time, yeah, every doll we got, my mom would put it on top of the roof. We were never allowed to play with dolls. So as a young girl, Esther precedes me and two boys follows me. So I was the middle, like, oh, I'm here, I'm in between. So I would take joy in going to sit in the lush green savanna, and I would use the blades of grass as my doll. And I would bow tie, the so-called hair, and I would be sitting in front of what I deemed a classroom and my students, and I was there, and I would be the talker, and my ears were the grass blades. So from then, I knew I had a position in leadership. It took me into the classroom in my early adult years. I'm a former educator. I spent some wonderful years mentoring and molding young minds. And so being the authoritative figure that I was, it took me there. I had no qualms with what my career path was going to be. I knew I had to be giving instructions. I had to be the leader. I had to be directing. And so that took me into some glorious years in the classroom. I commanded the respect of my peers and also my students. However, life started lifing. This journey called life, it is, if you knew what was gonna come next, then you could plan and prepare for it. But there is no telling how you're going to go, what path you're going to step on. And so very early I got married, and woo, voila, I thought this was it. Yes, you're making your parents proud. You have your career. Now you're leaving from home and you're stepping into marriage and so on and so forth. And so life started lifing. somewhere along the line, it turned out bitter for me. And I realized that I became bridled. I was muted. What muted me? Pain and shame. I'm a survivor of domestic violence and I suffered some terrible years, and that pain and that shame bridled me. But somewhere along the line, I became a mom. And I was like, okay. So now I not only have myself to think about, I have another life that I brought into this world. And so now the onus was on me to make sure that my child was safe and secure. That's when I realized, hey, but you were never muted. You were never bridled. If you ask my siblings, normally we have our family group chat and we're there chatting. And if you ask them, who was the person, who was the sibling who was reprimanded the most, they would just laugh and look at me like, because I never kept my mouth shut. No. I was always advocating for myself. Like, mommy, that's not fair. Or daddy, no, I know where you keep the money. I just need some money, or whatever it was. So I was always on the advocacy path. So after um, suffering years of domestic abuse, I decided to unmute my voice. I had to find a little girl inside of me growing up to be that educator, and I had to get that voice back. Now it wasn't about teaching and learning anymore. It was another aspect of advocacy. So it was through pain and shame that I realized, listen, no, other women are suffering like I am. But who's speaking up? Who's speaking out? Who's being bold enough to say there's a life beyond domestic violence and abuse? Who is saying to the other person that, listen, you don't have to sit and suffer in silence. You can get up and get out. So that's where I unmuted my voice in my pain and in my shame and in my suffering, because now I not only had myself, to forge for, I had my daughter who I didn't want her growing up in this situation, because I didn't grow up, seeing my parents. I never grew up around quarrel. When I was older, 19, I remember asking my mom, like, why did you and my dad separate? Because I never heard them argue. We never saw them fuss or fight or carry on or anything. So that's not the life I wanted my child to endure. And so that's when I unmuted once more. That's when I took the bridle off. That's when I found my strength. That's when I gained courage and the wings to fly. And that's where my advocacy began.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank God that you unmuted yourself, because you have a powerful voice and you have a powerful story to share as well. So it's really, really important. I admire your courage. I salute you and I encourage you to keep going. And before we move to the next question, I would love to go back to Miss Shirley. I know that you have other engagements as well, and I'm really grateful for joining us today. But before I let you go, I would love to ask you about the book. When the book is going to be released? What's going to happen? Please, Miss Shirley, just say that with...
Thank you. Yes, the book, Unleash the Power of Your Voice, will be released on the 22nd of January. And then, of course, the Unleash the Power of Your Voice book is not just the book alone. We also have the summit, the Unleash the Power of Your Voice Summit. And now we are pairing this together, not because I know somebody asked me some times back and said, why do you have the two of them together? Is it not going to be like confusing, to people? I say, no. We have a reason why we are pairing these two together, because we do not just want the book alone to be out. We want to connect the two together so that people, and women mostly, because we are reaching out to women, will know that this is a powerful movement. It's not just about, the book alone. It's a great movement that we need all women around the world to connect to. So the Unleash the Power of Your Voice Summit, Women's Summit, is happening the same day, and the book as well will be released on the same day. The summit is to create a space where voices don't just need platforms, but they need community. People grow faster. We understand that we grow faster as women when we realize that we're not alone in whatever we are going through and whatever we are carrying. And so starting this in the month of January is very, very key, because I know that, when you're starting something like this, is new year, some people are still looking for direction. Some people are still trying to grapple about how do I go about this year? What do I do? Last year really drained me. I don't even know where to start. This is the right place to start. When you come into the room, you get inspired, get encouraged, you get clarity and direction on how to move about the year 2026, because there's so much that God had embedded in the year 2026 for us. For me, I would say 2026 is about expansion, is about moving with audacity, obedience into what God has in stock for every one of us. We need audacity. It's time. It's, in fact, it's way beyond those years where you keep playing safe. There's nothing like playing safe anymore. You need to step out there and get what God has given to you, because you cannot remain in your comfort zone. You've done that enough over the years. You've allowing people to tell you, no, this is how far you can go. No, no, no. God is giving you the permission. He has given you everything that you need to go out and become everything that he has given to you to become. So there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing hindering you. So Unleash the Power of Your Voice is here. I encourage every one of you out there that have not gotten a ticket. There's no fee attached to it. So please go get your ticket and meet us in the room. The women that you're seeing here and many more that are not here are going to be in the room to pour into you, because they said, the Bible says iron sharpened iron. So we're going to be in the room, to speak life into everything that you have to do in the year 2026. If you do not have direction, you're going to leave the room empowered with the direction that you need to move in 2026. Thank you so very much. I want to, before I actually have a church program, I want to appreciate every speaker and author that have, agreed to journey on this second volume of the book, and also for the summit. I do not take, your gifting, for your grace over your life for granted. I really, really appreciate you, for coming forward and stepping forward. And that's also the beauty about unleashing the power of your voices, because it is from the place of where you are that you're still stepping forward to share to other women and also shine the light that God has given to you into the lives of others. And 2026, you're going to, see more women that you're going to shine that light into. And I celebrate God in your life for being that vessel of glory, vessel of honor to the lives of women out there. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And may God replenish and increase us all for year 2026 and beyond.
Thank you so much, Miss Shirley. I appreciate you. I am very grateful for having you in my life, really. For the link for the summit to register is in the comments below. So guys, if you are watching this now or you're watching in the replay before the 22nd of January, please feel free to register. It's free. Some really, really powerful women, as Miss Shirley said, we're going to be in the room. I'm pretty sure that you're going to live inspired, motivated, and as you said, and as she said, for 2026, you will have a direction. You maybe you can find your purpose, and that's going to be my next question as we are moving forward, ladies. I would love to ask you, just in a couple of words, if you would love to share, what message do you hope women around the world who are going to read the book, to read your chapter, what message do you hope they will receive from your chapter as they are reading it? Dr. Lisa.
I want them to know that if there's any table where they can amplify their voice, don't shy away from it. You belong there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Bennett.
Okay, so I'm going to come Isaiah 54:2 or 3, and my focus is going to be on 3 to just break for, right? It says, In Jeremiah 29:11, it says, "For I know the plans I have you, declare the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope for a future." Where's your future? Your future is in your purpose. And what's your purpose? Isaiah 54:2 and 3. And I like verse 3 because it says, "For thou shalt break forth." You break forth on the right, you break forth on the left. So my purpose for this book and for this summit is just to encourage women break forth. Stop holding yourself back. Find the courage you have, whether it's in your hands. Some people are good with their hands. The power of your voice. Some people like working behind the scenes, but they could push you to excel. Wherever you find your purpose, just break forth. Go forth.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very sure, I'm positive that your chapter as well, Dr. Lisa's chapter as well, everyone's chapter is really powerful and inspirational. Dr. Stephanie Green, Dr. Green, what's the message? What you hope that people will receive when you read your chapter?
For me, when they read the chapter, I want them to be reminded of back in the beginning of time in Genesis, where God spoke the world into existence. He said, "Let there be." So he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. So I want people to have the hope of when you speak, you believe, because we are created in the image of God. So when you speak, you have power in your voice. So I want them to know, just like the scripture in Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me." So it's a personal thing where you have to have hope, you have to believe, and then you have to have the courage to speak it into existence. And there is power in the spoken word of your voice. Thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. So if you are watching this guys now, or you're gonna watch the replay, okay, the link to the book is gonna be released on the 22nd of January when the book is released as well. So stay tuned because some of announcements gonna come up, and also the link to join the summit again is in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to any of us and we can help you, we can guide you know how to register. Again, it's free. And before we leave, I would love to ask you ladies, what is one single word? I would love to have one word from each and one of you when you are leaving today and you would love to share with those who are listening now, watching us now, or they're going to watch later. What is the word what you would love to share and help them to keep going, to start and not be afraid to sharing your voice, their voice?
All right, my word would be faith. And you can use faith in so many different ways. Faith over fear, faith to give you the courage to forge on. So my word that I want to leave with viewers today is faith. Find your faith to carry on. No fear. We're ditching fear this year. We have broken up with fear. We're not even engaged to faith anymore. We're now married to faith. So my word is faith. Just find the faith to give you the courage you need to carry on. Faith over fear, faith over anxiety, faith over worry. Just find your faith.
Well, thank you. That's a really, truly powerful word. And faith, it's really, really needed, especially now in the times where we are living right now. You ladies are needed, especially now in the times where we are living right now. Your voice matters. And it's really important that, I believe that each and one of you here today, it's like a lighthouse for others. And I love that because we show the way, you show the way to others, and thank you. Thank you very much for your word. It's faith. Dr. Lisa.
Care. I would say care. Cultivate authentic relationships to empower, but it starts with self. John Maxwell tells us all the time, a leader leads themselves first because a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So it is up to us. When I started this journey, it was teaching leaders to care for others because of the great exodus of employees leaving agencies because of their leadership. Then when the Lord showed me, he said, now, he said, it's because the leaders don't know how to care for themselves. So now I need you to show them how to do that. So I want them to start right there because leaders, you have to care for yourself. But what I want you to do is know your full cup is for you and you serve everyone else from your overflow. Reclaim your peace and care for yourself.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Lisa. I care, and that's very important. And some might say, I'm not a leader. Yes, girl, you are. You are the leader of your family, you are the leader of your community. So, yes, every woman in their own way is a leader in one way or another. So, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate your work, it's really powerful. Dr. Stephanie Green, what's your one word?
My one word would be believe. And that's an acronym for because Emmanuel lives, I receive victory every time. So when you magnify your voice, you have power and authority to believe and declare what you want to see because you have victory every time in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I love your word, faith, believe, and I care. I think they are really three really powerful words. I am so excited to see you and to hear your speeches, talks on the 22nd when the summit is. I'm really excited to read your chapters as well when the book is going to be released on the 22nd of January. I'm pretty sure that it's very inspiring and powerful and motivating. I would love to thank you, beautiful ladies, for sharing not only your experiences, your words, but also your hearts, because I really truly can feel that. And I know that there is so much and so many other things that we could talk about in an hour really in a live show. It's not enough, to share all the things what we would love to share. But I think that this short conversation from today, it reminded us of something really powerful, okay? One of you ladies said, I'm not really sure which one of you, but said a woman's voice is not just sound, okay? Because I believe that it's a legacy. A woman's voice is healing when we speak, and it's transformation, okay? And you here, ladies, you are all living proof that when one woman dares to speak, okay, she becomes a beacon, a light for others, for many others, because when they see you, they follow you. They said, okay, she did it. I can too. And I love that. It's beautiful and it's powerful, okay? And to everyone who's watching, you guys are watching now or in the replay, it's okay. Remember one thing, your voice matters more than you know, because your story holds power, okay? And the word needs the truth that only you can speak. You've been through pain, you've been through so many life experiences. That was given you by God for a reason. It was not given you to keep it for yourself. It was given to you to share it with others, so others can learn, others can be inspired, okay? And if today's conversation with these beautiful ladies today inspired you, or it just did something within you really, then I invite you to follow on social media these beautiful, incredible authors and stay connected as we prepare for the release of the Unleash the Power of Your Voice, okay? And before we leave, I would love to ask each and one of you, if someone resonates with you, they feel in alignment with what you were saying, where is that they can reach out to you? Each and one of you, and what is it? Yes, actually, I would love from you to share where they can reach out to you. Let's go the other way around now, Dr. Lisa.
I'm on social media under my name, Lisa Yvette Jones. I think my with my background there. So Lisa Yvette Jones on all social media.
Thank you. Dr. Stephanie?
Feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. It is my name. My name is Stephanie with two N's. My mother's name is Annie, so she just put Steph in front of it. So it's Stephannie, green, just like the color of money, Gree, Stephanie. And on Instagram, it's the opposite, Green Stephanie on Instagram. Looking forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Bennett?
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Bernadette Spice. I just got to be out there.
That's
Oh my
one.
God, in Highlander, we're always spicy. So on Facebook, you guys can find me as Bernally Spice, and on Instagram, I am Bernally_31. So that's Instagram, Bernally_31, and Facebook, Bernally Spice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. I would kindly like to ask you to share your contact details in the comments below as well, so, it's easier for people, maybe they can connect with you. I just would love to remind you, each and one of you watching now or later again, that the book is going to be released on the 22nd of January. Unleash the Power of Your Voice, and also the Powerful Summit is going to happen again on the 22nd. The link is in the bio. Please feel free to join. It's completely free, but it's going to be an experience of a lifetime, okay? Ladies, thank you very much once again for being here with me today. I appreciate you. I would love to say thank you to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the love and likes you've given to us today. And until next time, keep running with your truth. Keep rising, all of you. I'm sending you lots of love and light always. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So much. Have
Thank
a great
you.
day. Bye bye.
Bye for now.